Hi, Mark. Come in.
Oh, hey, Johnny.
Hey, Peter.
We're just talking about women.
Since civilization, women have been oppressed by men, and it's okay to have that guard up.
You could become dad by default. In 2014, 7 Action News told Carnell's story and found the mother. She said she was told in order to get welfare benefits, she needed to name a father. She knew he wasn't the dad, but wrote down his name anyway.
Everything is my fault that I put him through.
Do you think that he should have to pay this money?
No, he shouldn't have to pay it at all.
I like how she said that, and I know for a fact she still took the money.
She took the money.
Women have been oppressed by men.
A statutory grape victim forced to pay child support. The most well-known case for a Kansas boy who, at the age of 13, impregnated his 17-year-old babysitter. Under Kansas law, a child under the age of 15 is legally unable to consent. The Kansas Supreme Court in 1993 ruled that he was liable for child support. California issued a similar state court ruling a few years later in the case of a 15-year-old boy who slept with a 34-year-old neighbor. In that case, a woman had been convicted. In both cases, the state social services agencies that pursued the case after the mother sought public assistance. The Kansas court determined that the grape was irrelevant and that the child was not owed to the rapist, but rather to the child.
Women have been oppressed by men.
Hello, everybody. This is the Infidel Guy. The picture you see there is of me many years ago and my firstborn son, Donovan. Well, I kind of need your help. The mother of Donovan has not been allowing me to see him. I've been struggling to have Donovan in my life, and I in his, for 12 years. She hasn't ever explained to me why. She doesn't want me really to be the father. She's told me that I'm not the father in her mind, even though the blood test says I am. But she said he has a father and that he doesn't need me. Yet she continues to appeal to this date to get more child support money. So, and I'm doing so. I'm paying. I'm in arrears, but I'm still paying every month. And I'm trying to catch up, but the mother, for some reason, I've tried to contact her in various venues over the years, and I just get shut down. I'm not allowed to see my son.
Women have been oppressed by men.
So, special privileges New York women have secured under male suffrage. If wife obtains divorce, husband must pay alimony.
After the kids turned 21, she went back for her alimony because it had not went through the courts. And at that time, the judge said there are just causes for him to not be paying. Georgia did change the law, and at that time they said that alimony and child support payments could never go away. It would always be out there that you could always go back and attempt to collect.
If husband fails to support wife, he may be arrested and persecuted criminally.
Here we have a situation where an 80-year-old man has been thrown in jail because a judge overturned a divorce decision of alimony and him not having to pay alimony that was put into place 30 years ago. You heard me right. Alimony can come back to get you 30 years after your divorce.
Women have been oppressed by men.
This is Emily Murphy. She was a Canadian feminist and even a magistrate in Canada and in the British Empire. And she was also a member of the group, the so-called Famous Five, which were Canadian women's rights activists, due in part to Murphy's heavy advocacy of compulsory sterilization of thousands of Albertan men and women were sterilized without their knowledge or consent under the Sterilization Act. But where the Famous Five and Emily Murphy, were they actually punished for such a vile conduct, or were they at minimum frowned upon? Well, actually not. They were actually praised even, and even put on a $50 bill at one time in Canadian history.
How?
Are you really? How?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to prove it by contrasting these two cases. This schizophrenic man murdered the refugee he was put away for 23 years. He's mentally ill, and yet it didn't matter. This woman stabbed her date 100 times to death, and she was given a mere 100 hours of community service.
Women have been oppressed since the beginning of time.
All that crap you've been doing all...
Like, I don't understand why we can't just have a...
super chatted $49.99. Nanny, you condemned domestic violence but openly admitted to assaulting your ex-boyfriend with your purse.
This is how you carry on? This is how you carry on?